Hi, my name's Eric Geiser. I'm the CEO of the ARC New York. More than 7 decades ago, our organization was started by families who wanted a better world for their children. Through their determination and through their advocacy, individuals across the country now have access to quality programs and services which were once just a dream. Our families can be proud of the path they paved that has given a voice to those once spoken for. The voice of our self-advocates is strong, and it's also clear. And I want all of you to know that we are listening. To be a truly inclusive organization, we must look around us and be sure that all have the opportunity to participate and help determine what our future will look like.
Hi, my name is Kristen Thatcher.
My name is Henry Lee Wesley.
My name is Alan Albert.
Hi, my name is John Fritz.
Hello, my name is VJ Sashio.
My name is Joseph Damiano.
My name is Lydia Hood.
My name is Robert Lee Smith.
COTTHODGE, and my middle name is Henry.
And I'm honored to be the president of Sandy's. Currently, I couldn't imagine what my life would be without this experience. I just learned a lot from all the self-advocates before me, and taking a lot of what they taught me and kind of molded the advocacy that I wanted to do to make it work for everybody.
I like to draw and read sometimes and hang out with my friends. I like to watch movies. I now live on my own in my own apartment. I also went to College Works program at MDCC.
I'm a community ambassador for the Staten Island Community Partnership Program. We do like food distributions, we do community events. I've been a part of AHRC New York City for the past God knows how many years. And AHRC has literally been a life-changing opportunity.
I was on a self-advocacy board of directors. And basically I was an officer for 2 years. With my wife, we always used to tell our stories when we go to conferences and how we met and stuff like that. This year we're going on 24 years.
I live now at my own apartment. I love doing the cleaning. I love doing the grocery shopping, the cooking. I know this sounds very weird, but because I'm living on my own, I think I'm more proud of my apartment than I was proud of my bedroom at my parents' house.
As I'm a person and an advocate that doesn't believe in making decisions on the fly. If you're not going to help me, move out of my way, because I will find someone that will help me. And I only put people on my train, as I call it, that are going to help me. And I've had to kick people off that train.
I want staff. I want a tutor help me how to read and learn how to count my money. I do want to go to football with John Leo and basketball and baseball.
I live at Surrey Way Residence. I enjoy the people I live with and the people I work with at my home.
Say that I'm already employed in the field that I'm actually working today. And that's in human services. I honestly want to be employed to help people with disabilities like myself. I usually enjoy doing riding my ATV. When it's nice out, I'll hang out with my respite provider, who's also been my best friend for over 16 years.
I enjoy traveling, and I like to go birding. Mostly, I enjoy spending time with my wife. I'm often asked how Jean and I met. After I left Willowbrook State School in 1972, I was transferred back to the Washiack Developmental Center. Jean had been a resident at the Washiack Developmental Center. Jean was discharged at the Jamestown Art Community Residence in the 80s. This was around the same time that I was transferred to the Jamestown area as well. In the late 80s, Jean and I both moved to Busting Group IRA. We rekindled our friendship, and I believe it was fate that brought us together.
October 10th, 1989, one of the counselors came to me. How would you feel to work for 9X Mobile Communications Cellular Phones? Now, I never heard of a cellular phone. I mean, the phone was up to here with the antenna going up this way. So I never heard of a mailroom, and I had to go for 2 interviews. The second interview, they were having a kickoff, and I still remember this. They had a robot, and I said after my interview, I said, I think I'm gonna like this place, you know?
I did volunteer somewhere to clean before, so I have volunteered at a humane society to go see the cats and like groom them, feed them, or change their litter. I did a lot of volunteering. I like to do a lot of drawing. I just drew one. It's a guy named Noah Schnacky. He is a country singer, and I wanted to draw of him, and I want to put it at a fair, and then after the fair, I want to mail it to him.
Self-advocacy means that I am able to make my own choices, helping others to be strong, to make change, show that we're stronger than people think we are.
Yes, we have a self-advocacy group, and yes, I believe it is important that we speak up and advocate for ourselves.
My advice to future self-advocates is always learn to speak up for what is right.
I feel the self-advocacy is like, when someone said to speak up for yourself. Let them know how you feel. What goals do you want, for your life and what you want to do.
But we all have a voice, and we should use that voice. Speak up, and if they have an opinion, then they have every right in the world to speak up and say that opinion. And, it might be like a little daunting at first to get up there and talk, but the more you do it, the more comfortable. And you don't know how many people you could be inspiring by talking to them.
I got the right to live on my own one day.
What other rights do you have?
I got the right to speak up for myself.
Right to speak up.
I got the right to vote.
You got the right to vote.
Good job.
The Resource Center does have a self-advocacy group that I am involved in. We meet once a month. I think it's very important that if you want to see a change, you have to have a voice to be the change.
But for me, it means being able to advocate for my services and my rights as an individual, but also as an individual with a disability. I also use the term self-advocate because I don't think of it just as advocating for myself. I advocate for others with disabilities that might not have a voice or know how to advocate for themselves. I like to teach people how to self-advocate for themselves so they can learn, so they become empowered to know what is going on, know that their voice matters, know that they have a say in what happens to them.
I always say when I train staff, when I do staff trainings, I say An advocacy issue for someone could be a different sandwich for lunch. It doesn't have to be save my DSP, give my DSP a raise, as long as they start speaking up for themselves when they should, like for that different sandwich or at their life plan meeting. That's the start of being an advocate, because you're making choices for yourself, but by making choices for yourself, you're also making aware of choices for others.
We speak up for others. I have a t-shirt which says that, speak up for others, have a voice, and that's what we do.
Self-advocacy means to me is to advocate for people who cannot advocate for themselves. And even though I'm always end up advocating for a lot of people and stuff like that, even though I don't actually advocate for myself half the time. So I'm more concerned about other people and stuff like that. And my wife gets after me, you gotta advocate for yourself too.
Self-advocacy in our world is about the individuals we serve having their own voice, having their own say in the type of life they want to live and the services and programs that they participate in to get them to that life that they choose to live. It's about individuals who have been marginalized for a long period of time having a voice for themselves, and I think it's our responsibility as an organization to ensure that they have that voice. I mean, we all make our decisions in life, and just because someone has IDD doesn't mean that they shouldn't have a seat at the table. It is their table.
And that self-advocates have to be in the front of everything, because that's why we exist. But my hope would be, an expectation would be, that we have more of them, that they are more in the front, not in the middle or the back, and that it's okay if they can't say everything that needs to be said.
It was a inevitable evolution. People we support should be part of the decision-making and governance of the organization. We've got parents, the same model. People who derive the benefit of the services, who stand to really have their lives shaped by those services, should be involved. And we had not had a self-advocate on the board. And one of the requirements for the ARC is that before you serve on the board, you serve on committees. So we had a group of people start around the CQL time. They served on the CQL stakeholder group. They were part of the interviews. They were part of the action planning process. They then served on the committees. Then they were eligible for board participation, just like the community. So it's really refreshing to have them at the table. Their perspective is always spot on. And, I think it's exactly what we wanted. It took a little bit of time for us to get there, but I think we took the right path to make it happen.
So self-advocates, including Joe, have been involved in our larger group meetings, and we've had, roughly 35 or 40 people in those meetings, and we've done some focus groups. The dignity associated with work is probably the thing that I hear about most often. And I do think that while our self-advocates want to be able to work in the community, I think they agree that sub-minimum wage, at least at our chapter, is not the way to accomplish it.
The self-advocates at Nassau are very, very active. And they bring their voice to policymakers whose decision-making impacts their lives. So the self-advocates within AHRC Nassau participate on statewide committees, such as the self-advocates of New York, Sandy's, on a regional and statewide level. We've had past presidents come right out of the Nassau chapter of Sandy's. They are part of SABE, the self-advocates becoming empowered. They are part of Partners in Policymaking, supported decision-making committees. The OPWDD Reopening Committee, we have self-advocates on that committee. We also have at Nassau self-advocates who serve on the agency board and board committees, such as our Human Rights Committee, our Incident Review Committees, our quality improvement committee, our diversity committees. So the self-advocates are a big part of what we do here, and they play a major role.
Most important role that we play, or at least that I feel like I play as an advisor to the self-advocates that I work with, is just creating opportunities for people to speak. I feel like they have the message. They know their lives in a way that I can hope to understand, but probably never will completely. And that the thing that is often lacking is those opportunities to express that to, you know, people in positions of power. So, you know, one of you mentioned like you've set up for Senator Mannion to speak to your group. I feel like that's the perfect example of what we need to be doing as advisors. We're not leading that conversation, but we might be able to make a connection to get those decision makers into the room so that they can hear the voices of those self-advocates. And I feel like that's the heart of what we need to be working on.
Self-advocacy is important because it lets people empower themselves on their own terms.
They can open up and feel free to say whatever they want. And it gives them that, like John's empowerment, you know, and not being afraid to say something that they really would like to say.
That just giving people a platform to be able to be heard, because like John mentioned too, they've spent all their lives just really being supported by people that are paid, that this is really bringing things to light to say, oh, so I have a chance to say what I want and not just listen to what people tell me to do.
I've been working for ARC Rockland for 35 years. When I first started, we only had 4 group homes, and now we have 30 sites. So it's really expanded greatly, and it was wonderful to see all these changes. At the time when I first started, you know, Letchworth, individuals are coming out of the institution, and it was a really interesting time.
I would like people to use the term differently abled than disabled, because disabled implies the fact that they aren't able to do anything. We're all able to do something. We just do it in a different way.
I think we should be referred to as people with other abilities.
Bad words make me upset. I'm a Christian. I didn't listen to that.
What happens if somebody called you a bad name, Scott? How does it make you feel?
It made me feel hurt.
Or one of the words that I dislike the most is the R word. The R word to me is very disrespectful. The minute you say the R word in front of me, you're out of my life.
Words are really important, and words do matter to us and stuff like things. And one of the main issues that we always been trying to advocate is to take the word retardation out of the system.
Not disabled, abled, gifted. We're unique.
Some of the language that is used in the rights, they want to make sure that that language is accessible to everybody. You know, some of the words that we choose to use are like those really big dictionary words, and they want it to be something where it's easily accessible to everybody who's reading it.
There have been sessions related to words and how we use those words and phrases that should not ever be used as it relates to them and the things that they do or enjoy. So language is very, very important. And our self-advocates are extremely sensitive to language.
A lot of people use the term individual. An individual has almost gotten to be like a code word, it means, you know. So people is great.
The language that people use, some of it is unacceptable. I mean, we're all human, but even words like consumer and other things are starting to go out of term. So I would say let's call them by their name.
You know, there has been an evolution in terminology, putting the person first. And I know the self-advocates are sensitive to that, and they want to be looked at as a person first and foremost, and not as a person necessarily even supported.
Words are important because they could stick with you. I'm gonna take you back to my my school experience when my record said I was mentally retarded. I had no knowledge of that, but look how that followed me when I wanted to go to college. So words and phrases do matter.
Thank God we have family. That's one thing I'm going to say right now, because without family, we would never be the same.
My one main goal that I have not accomplished was be able to speak, and basically all I want to do is educate them, talk to the UN about people with disabilities.
My fiance is Brian Elliott, that's him. And he's a very sweet guy. He's very loving, and he's mostly caring. And I think he's amazing.
You want to get a job. Be a waiter. Serve food to people and you give it to them.
Don't look at the person with disabilities. Look what they're able to do. Use their strengths, and you'll find what is amazing about that person.
I would like to say to parents who are about ready to embark on this journey of their child becoming an adult in adult services, to hang on, it's a wild ride.
I'll definitely continue the advocacy. I'm definitely going to continue the fight for people with disabilities and also for every single person in the LGBTQ community and fight for all people.
I would like people to know that you can do it. You can go out and get a job. You can go out and get a house. You can do it. If you put your mind to it, you can do it.
My dream for Joseph really is to have a life that's meaningful for him.
I'm currently engaged, been engaged for 1.5 years, and I plan to eventually get a 2-bedroom apartment and move in with me and my fiance move in together.
Thank you for interviewing me, for having me be a part of this project. I enjoy these types of things. Hope you all have a great day.
I want to thank you for your time and leave you with a poem I wrote. Thank God, I want to thank you for the roof over my head, for the people to help me dress and eat, keep me healthy, take me out. When people ask me how I feel, I tell them, grateful, because people care enough to help me. Some people don't have a roof over their head because no one helps them. I'm a pretty lucky guy.